fellow Guyanese. Good evening, Essequibans. Before I spoke, before me, several speakers presented to you what in court we call the evidence. And you tonight, you are the jurors. And during the speeches in which Robert Badal presented you the facts, Walter Lawrence, Rupert Roopnarine, Nigel Hughes, Samad Baksh, also known as Sam Bacchus, and Natram was perhaps among all of them the witness to testify before you that he has been the victim of a callous, merciless, and disgraceful regime led by Nagamootoo. Many refer to Essequibo as the Cinderella County. But this Cinderella, in the male form, would be called a Cinderfella. And in the fable, Cinderella lost her shoe. And like all princes, they will come wooing her with a shoe in hand. Nagamootoo came with tear smoke, tear gas, didn't offer Cinderfella the lost shoe he was seeking, which was the price for paddy that was due to him and other farmers of Essequibo. They did not visit his loss with mercy. They tear gassed the protesters, among which Natram stood in front, and they stripped Natram naked as he was born. May 11 for me and you is the day you pass a judgment on the abuser of Natram. And your verdict, of course, I want to hear from you. Guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
We got to jail them,
And then you will sentence them on May 11 in the peaceful revolution and revolt that Dr. Roopnarine spoke about, where your weapon of choice would be an X next to the hand and the key. That will be the strongest weapon, more powerful than an AK-47. That X would be the most potent bullet against this rapacious and corrupt government. I have been with the PPP for almost more than a lifetime. I have been one who walked in the footsteps, in the shadows of and under the wisdom of Chedi Jagan. But after he died, the party died with it. Those who took this party over have turned it over to a pack of wolves that have devoured all that the party stood for. So that today, as part of the evidence presented to you, is that of the son of Chedi Jagan, Dr. Joey Jagan, who said that this is not my father's party. And when David Granger and I were in the United States recently, he came and held my hand and the hand of David Granger, and he put his hand on top of our hands and he sealed the Trinity of Unity in Guyana. He has endorsed the alliance, this coalition, and has said, had his father lived, he would have done exactly what the APNU and the AFC have done. So today, we have Ramotar saying that this will be the mother of all elections. He has always been wrong, and he's wrong again. This will be the baby of elections we have not seen before. This was a child. In 1992, we delivered in one of those elections we had a child that gave us hope. But we have never been able to deliver a child that we could name Unity. We had hope without unity. And this election would be the child that we will name Unity. It gives content to all that we have struggled for. And it gives us a vision of where we could go if we are united. So in this verdict you will pass this evening, I want to start off with what I have said at the massive WIM rally, the National Unity Rally in my home village. I asked my villagers and Barbadians that after all the years I've spent in public life, and after all those years in public life, I came back to them with clean hands. I asked them whether they knew me, and their answer was yes. I told them that I was nominated to be the prime ministerial candidate for the APNU+AFC coalition. And I asked them whether they knew that the PPPC has nominated one Elizabeth Harper to be their prime ministerial candidate. And all I asked them in WIM, do you know Elizabeth Harper? And their answer in Berbice was no. I ask you this question tonight. Do you know Elizabeth Harper? I didn't think I'd hear that. I don't think Ramisar is hearing that. Parmanan. Do you know Elizabeth Harper? So they are harping on this right now and saying how I attacked a woman, a poor woman, All I ask this woman is that you want to be Prime Minister of Guyana, and you want to stand up against domestic violence, and we all are against domestic violence. All I ask her, if you're sincere about fighting domestic violence, why is it you're appearing on the same platform with Barrett Jagdeo? And that is all I said of this lady of honor, this citizen of Guyana, this woman, diplomat, for whom I have great respect. She has entered the arena of politics, and I can only speak to her now in political language. And therefore, I'm glad that you also appreciate the fact that no one really knows Elizabeth Harper, the person who the PPP wants to become the Prime Minister of Guyana. I also want to tell you that there are other reasons why we should vote this government out. Rice farmers in Essequibo, you don't need a case to be presented to you, because you are the ones who are fighting the bugs in the paddy field, and you're fighting the vampires in higher places. You're fighting against those who would take your money that you earn for your paddy and would not give you the full amount. Their friends and their cronies siphon off $8 out of $27 billion in recent sales, billions of dollars, to take care of paperwork, to be the middleman, to seek market that is already guaranteed in Venezuela. And they're taking away the price that ought to be paid, as Natram said, to the rice farmers by all other means of sidekicks and side transactions that fill the pockets of their friends. So you don't need a reason for a change in government. You need a government, a new government, that will change the laws so that prices are guaranteed. As Natram said, to support in institutions from which millers could borrow, and they could pay farmers promptly for their paddy, to be able to revamp the rice board so that farmers run their own affairs and they look for their own markets, and there is no discrimination as to who should have a quota for the sale of rice, as Sam Bacchus has told you. Today, we have heard a full case presented to you that this country can no longer tolerate 3 more years of Ramotar. This country cannot tolerate 3 more years of a know-nothing and a do-nothing president. When we came to Parliament with a no-confidence motion, it was because this government had chosen to violate the Constitution, to violate the law, to steal money from the Treasury, in one case $4.5 billion. All the reasons of taking your money and squandering it. And so we brought a motion of no confidence, that this Parliament has no confidence in this government, And the reaction of the government was not to engage us to form a government of national unity, but the response of the government was to destroy the parliament, was to shut it down, an institution for which generations have fought, and then, like a coward, do not want to fight the other person in battle. Nagamootoo took his own sword and he decided to throw his body on it. It's called political suicide. Because he called an election prematurely, only after 3 years in office. And the result is what we see here today, that we are about to pass a verdict on this corrupt minority government, and we will get rid of it on May 11. So, Essequibans, Guyanese, I know tonight that you have made up your mind. When I was in high school, I was always told by my teacher that rain, dew can full, what rain can full, what dew can full. Was it that? Is it all the way around? Because in the last minute you try to make some preparations for the exams, and the teacher will say that you can't do that. And so now, no amount of arguments I could present to you on this platform will get you to change your mind. And that decision you have made is that this is not only time for unity, but this is a time for change. This is a time that we have in place a new government of people with vision, with plan, with a program which we will unveil shortly in our manifesto, and with leaders you could trust, that they will attend to your affairs with seriousness, that we could address the crime situation, we could address the situation of widespread corruption, the waste and squandermania of taxpayers' money, that we could address the issue of a decent minimum wage for all public servants, that we could address the issue of pension for pensioners on which they could actually live, that we could support single mothers, single parents with social assistance, that we could use your money for your benefit and not to fill the pockets of the few and their friends. So this evening, my task is finally to answer one more question. And that question is, as the PPP leaders are trying to make a big thing about this, that would the APNU+AFC unity last? They're asking us and they're telling us that the APNU cannot be trusted and they will get rid of the AFC after the elections. They're saying that this marriage cannot last. And I just want to share with you the fact of the matter. And look who is telling us that the marriage cannot last. Barjagdeo. He's telling us that the marriage cannot last. But we can set him aside. The Jagan family, they pushed the pampers in his mouth, told him to shut up, get off the stage. But he's like a barnacle at the bottom of Nagamootoo's boat. He goes with Nagamootoo everywhere Nagamootoo goes. I think right now they're in Florida, looking after their real estate, setting up caretakers, just in case on the 12th of May they need to make a sudden flight to resolve their political diarrhea that you will give them when you voted on May 11th. But I want to say to you in seriousness that this marriage will last. David Granger and I, as history and destiny would have it, we crossed paths in my village Wim when we were both in short pants. His father was a policeman at the Wim police station, and we attended the same primary school, the Auckland Scotch School. And though our path and career took us in different directions, we both came together in public service, in patriotic commitment to our people. I did not flinch. I did not retreat. And I'm sure David, as a soldier, he does not know fear and what is called surrender or retreat. So we're going to fight this battle through as patriots, and we will see it successfully to the end. And so, as destiny would have it, we're in the same platform, in the same coalition, forging a unity we all need, the entire Guyanese need. And I can tell you that we also know how to make marriages work. I have been married to my wife Sita, the Diwali Queen, 44 years now. Same woman. And if I have a chance, I'll marry her all over again. And David was with Sandra, as I have been with Sita, I think just 1 year more, 45 years. So we know how to make marriages work, and this APNU+AFC marriage will work. There will be no divorce here. The lawyers will starve. They're not going to get money from us for court proceedings. And so, tonight, the verdict is yours. The verdict is yours. It is a verdict you are making not only for yourself. It is a verdict you are making for the future. It's a verdict you are making for your children and your grandchildren. It is a verdict you are making for Guyana. And that verdict on May 11th must be, PPP must go! Are you ready? Are you ready? It is time. It is time for a change in government. Thank you and good night.